Gator Dave, how you doing?
I'm well, Mike. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome back for another week as we creep ever so closely to the end.
Yes, sir. We're on the backside now. Mike's got a new look. Looking good there, buddy. Looking good. So we are rolling
Something
into yeah.
something something's still the same though, Dave. Something's still the same.
Yeah, it
Just
is.
one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. And we both were 50-50 at 6-6 last week, and you're still ahead of me, what, by about 3 games? So ouch. So we're in week 9. We're Bets Utopia, number one location for all things sports betting. And I got to throw it out there, Mike, right now. I got to say it right now. Scotty Boy on the NFL show. Folks, he's 11-1 the last 2 weeks. Make sure you watch the
22 and
NFL
2.
show.
22 and
22
2
and
over the
2
last
in
2
2 weeks.
weeks.
Bada
Unreal.
binga. Bada bing. So
Absolutely surreal what he's doing
watch
over
the
there.
NFL show after our show tonight, man. So but
Putting
also
me away.
subscribe here, subscribe to Bet Utopia, like all that good stuff. We're on Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock. Looking good. More time for those wagers on those Thursday night games. So, like I said, Mike and I both 6-6. He's still kicking my butt up by 3 games. Um, I do have to toot my horn or toot my Gators horn one last time because the next month I won't be doing it. Lagway, DJ Lagway for real. We beat those lowly Wildcats 48-20. So it was a good win. 4 full quarters of football. First time maybe in 2 years. But Lagway's a real deal, folks. If we can hold on to him, I'm excited, no matter who our coach is. But we've got Georgia, Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss coming up. Boom! It's going to be ugly, guys. 3 top 10s and
Yeah,
number
that's not going to be
18.
good.
So
Not going to be good there, Gator Dave.
not good at all.
Just like
And
our
then
just like our last week's recap, dude. 6-6 for each of us. Not the best in the world. So
no,
we gotta get right.
no, 50-50. So let's see what we can do here, Mike. And you got the first game, man. Let's this one out of
Of
nowhere,
course.
Mike.
Of
This
course.
game. Let's see what you got here, buddy.
Yeah. Something like that. All right. Shout out to the people in the chat already. We see you. Ian, Devontae, Evelyn. Thank y'all for joining in. We really appreciate it. Always good to see returning faces. Yeah, so Louisiana-Monroe and South Alabama. That is the first game we're talking this week. It's ugly, um, but I think it's going to be a winner. So you look at South Alabama, their offense has been legit all year long. They put up 81 at one point. Stupid numbers. Top 50 team or top 35 offense. That's counting FBS and FCS. Louisiana Monroe, when you're looking at that same thing, their offense is 246 here, Gator Dave. They're only putting up 285 a game total yardage. Their defense hasn't been too great. South Alabama's defense hasn't been too great either. But with this line sitting at 7, I think South Alabama is going to be able to pull away in this one based off of that offense. I'm thinking this is like a 28-17 type game. So give me South Alabama at home to get it done here on Saturday. What do you got, Dave?
I'm going the other way, Mike. ULM
All
comes
right.
in at five. They come in at 5-1, Mike. ULM's only lost to Texas at this time. They beat Southern Miss. They beat James Madison. They beat Troy. They beat UAB. And I looked at head to head. They both these teams beat Troy, but ULM 5-1 against the spread, and South Alabama's 3-4. I saw South Alabama and Troy play the other night. I wasn't that impressed with South Alabama. They looked okay. Um, Louisiana-Monroe's quarterback, not that great, like you said. Their offense is 130 out of 133. But defense is 48th. And South Alabama's got a quarterback, Gio Lopez, looking pretty good, 65%,
Stud.
1466. He's a he's a
Stud.
he's a, he's a good dude. Um, Louisiana-Monroe's won each of its last 3 games as an underdog, Mike, against non-AP ranked teams. South Alabama, hit or miss offensively in the last few games, and they're a mess defensively. So, I mean, I'd almost consider with these defenses almost maybe an over. But, Mike, I'm going opposite you, baby. I'm going Warhawks by 7. So give me those 7 points, baby. Give me those
I
7.
love it. I love it. I'm good and glad with all the head-to-heads that we do have. You don't know what I've picked, obviously,
I have
because
no idea.
you
You've
sent them
known
to
all
me. I
day.
gotta I
Come
gotta do the graphics.
adjusted.
I gotta do everything. No, 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 no. We got some high quality head-to-heads this week, Dave. So it's gonna either work out in your favor, or like for myself in the NFL show going against Scott the last 2 weeks has not worked in my favor. So there is that. Next game we got here is Maryland taking on Minnesota. Minnesota's favored by 4. Gator Dave, what do you got?
So both teams come in 4-3. Maryland beat USC last week, but I think everybody's beating USC this year. They only beat them by 1. They beat Virginia, lost to Northwestern, lost to Indiana, but everybody's losing to Indiana. Minnesota, they beat UCLA and USC as well by 4 and 7 respectively. Lost to Michigan and Iowa. Maryland is 3-4 against the spread. Minnesota is 5-1-1. So the Terps come in. Their QB, Billy Edwards, 70%, 2,113 yards. You won't hear much more out of me, much more than that, as we talk until we get down to Mike's team. Running back Hambry, 372, 4.8 yards a carry, and 4 TDs. Minnesota's got Brosmer, 68%, only 1456. They do run the ball a little bit. Taylor at 432 and 6 TDs. Maryland has won 3 of its last 4 games as an underdog. Minnesota has lost 6 of its last 8 games against conference opponents. Minnesota, they're not good on offense, and their defense is okay. I'm taking Maryland here, Mike, and them 4 points. Tell me about why Minnesota's going to do it.
Because they're going to row the boats, Gator Dave. PJ Fleck is going to be rowing the boats, all right? Really the main thing that I'm going against here is Maryland. I'm just fading Maryland. They have not been a consistent team. They've just done nothing but ride the waves all year long, roller coaster in it, week in and week out. Minnesota's the more consistent team. I know what I'm going to get with Minnesota. It's not going to be a lot of offense, but it's going to be a lot of trench play. It's going to be good defense. And since this game is at home, I am going to take Minnesota to get the cover with the 4 points. So go Gophers, row them boats.
Yeah, and it's going to be one that I will not even think about watching.
Oh, it'll be one that I have, but it'll be one, in that quad box of
no sound
YouTube
on
TV.
that one. No sound.
Shout out YouTube TV. Sponsorships are open,
Yes. Bring it on, baby. All right. Next game, Mike.
Yeah, we're going to the ACC. We got North Carolina taking on Virginia. So something of note that I want to point out too, that, obviously I saw when I was doing the graphics and whatnot. Every one of these 12 games that we're talking about, the home team is the favorite in every single one of them. Just interesting. Thought that was interesting. So yeah, we got North Carolina taking on Virginia. Virginia is the 4-point favorite. Again, same thing sort of as the last game. I'm going with consistency. Virginia is not going to blow anybody out of the water. They're also not going to get blown out. And North Carolina has just not been consistent. I think they're on their 3rd quarterback now. Their best running back, their best offensive player just got hurt. He broke a bone, so he's done.
The running back? Hampton?
Yep.
Hampton? Oh, I'm glad I went with this one, man.
Yeah, so Hampton's done. So I think that's going to be a massive, massive key thing in this game. He's been really their only consistent piece on offense all year long. I'm going here with the home team again, Virginia, to get it done. What do you got, Dave?
Yeah, I'm there too, Mike. I mean, North Carolina's lost their last 4 games. The quarterback Calandria has done okay, 64%, 1649, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, not too shabby. UVA is 3-1 at home. The Heels are 0-1 on the road. Again, they're 0-1 against the spread. Excuse me, 0-1 against spread. That's off. That's off. 1-1 at home at away. Never mind. All right, let's move on. North Carolina failed to cover the spread in each of its last 8 games against conference opponents. Virginia, much better team. Like Mike said, playing better. I trust them all the way across the board. Give me the Virginia to cover them 4 points.
Right on. All right, moving on, Dave. We got Oklahoma State, away dog for the second week in a row, making the trip to Waco to take on Baylor. Baylor's a 7-point favorite. What do you got?
So, interesting game here. So both teams coming in at 3 and 4. We were kind of off the Baylor bandwagon, but damn, they're playing Oklahoma State, right? Lost their last 4 games. Baylor beat Texas Tech last week by 24 points. They have lost to Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado, that next tier up. Cowboys are 3 and 4 against the spread. Baylor's 4 and 3. Injuries are an issue for the Cowboys, Mike. They have a crap ton. They lost the left tackle. Ollie Gordon's banged up. They're still missing their top 2 defensive players. Their defense is hot damn garbage. Okay. Baylor's defense, not good either. These teams are number 7 and number 11 in pace of play. Like that stat? That means they play very fast. Lots of plays, crappy defense. Mike, give me the over 65.5 points in this game, sir.
I like that. I like that play a lot, Dave. I am going to go with the Baylor Bears here. You mentioned it. They just happen to be playing Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's banged up. Their offense hasn't been able to do anything all year long. Baylor proved a lot to me last week with that game against Texas Tech in Lubbock. We talked about it. We were both on Texas Tech, and they kicked us right in the teeth. The only thing for me is if Oklahoma State does find a way to get things going early in this game, do those Boo Birds come out to play in Waco, Texas, now that they're back at home? One of those things, oldest time, when struggling teams go on the road, they look at that as a blessing because they get away from all the noise, all the pressure, all the hate of playing in front of those home fans who want nothing but them to, make changes. Now they're coming back after a big win. If they struggle at the beginning of that game, those Baylor fans are that PTSD is gonna trigger, and it may not be that heartwarming for the old Baylor Bears. So that's something I do worry about. Ultimately, I think just Oklahoma State is abysmal on offense right now. Defense, they've been getting shredded all year. It's not typical Mike Gundy team whatsoever. So, yeah, I'm going the Bears here to get the cover as the favorite, Dave.
All right. Good call. Next
all
game.
Right, moving right along, sir. We are on staying in the Big 12.
Staying in the 12.
So we got Texas Tech making the trip. We just talked about them. We talked about them last week. Making the trip to TCU. TCU's a 6.5-point favorite here. Dave, what do you got?
So Texas Tech comes in 5-2. TCU 4-3. Texas Tech did burn us last week. They got whipped by Baylor. They have, however, beaten Arizona State, and Cincinnati. Everybody has one of those games. That's why I'm looking at this one, which I'm sure you're not. TCU's big win last week to a very down Utah team, 13-7. They beat Kansas. Woo, That's saying a lot, but they've lost to Houston, SMU,
Yep.
UCF. It ain't there, Mike. 3-1. Texas Tech is against the spread. TCU's 2-5. The Horned Frogs had defensive issues earlier in the season, and now their offense has gone in the trash can. TCU has scored a combined 32 points in their
Yep.
last 2 games. TCU outright lost its last 3 games as a favorite. Texas Tech, like I said, bogey last week. They're not playing great on defense, but damn, their offense is badass and a top 20 offense at that. So give me the Red Raiders, and I'll take those 6.5 points, Mike. What do you got?
I'm with Ian. Texas Tech is blacklisted. It's a no. Can't happen. Can't happen again for the rest of the year, maybe forever. Awful, awful, awful. But the main reason I'm on that, Dave, TCU loves to throw the football. They're throwing for over 331 yards a game right now. Texas Tech is giving up over 300. You know what Texas Tech gave up to Baylor in the passing game just last week, Dave, where Baylor put up 59 points on them? 274 passing yards along with 255 rushing yards for a total of 529. Absolutely atrocious. And they turned the ball over 3 times. I can't trust Texas Tech. Not going to do it. Give me TCU to throw all over the Red Raiders at home here. Give me a -6.5 to get the cover.
Give me them Red Raiders. All right. Love it. I love it. All right, next game. Another head-to-head, I'm sure. Let's do it. Let's do it. Michigan State.
You think
at Michigan,
so?
Mike.
You think another head-to-head here, huh?
Michigan State and Michigan. Well, just my gut, man.
Just a gut. Well, your gut is wrong, Dave. Your gut's wrong. That's my gut going with that. I got the Spartans. Go green in this game. Are you kidding me? This is always a close game. It's one of those classic rivalry games, just like another that we'll be talking later on in the show here. It doesn't matter the records of these teams. Doesn't matter the spread. Doesn't matter the ranking. They're going to come to play every time. I think this game comes down to coaching. I trust Michigan State's coach more than I trust Michigan's coach to make the right decisions on game day, to get his guys prepared. I think Michigan State is going to make less mistakes. They're going to make a few. Don't get me wrong. I think this is going to be an ugly, sloppy, classic Big Ten, low score, run the ball, trenches game. Don't watch it. Terrible passing stats. It's going to be all that and then some. Look at that. Dave's getting a message from beyond right now because I'm just speaking this into clairvoyance and transparent deliverance here. Give me Michigan State plus 3.5 to get it done. I think they win this one outright in the big house. Go Sparty. What do you got here, Dave?
I am right there with you. I didn't believe that one, Mike. So, yep, I'm on the Sparty wagon too. But
that's good. It's the gut. It's the gut, Dave.
At Michigan, Mike, Michigan is garbage. Mike, they're 1-6 against the spread. They're not cutting it. I mean, Michigan is they're not like they were last year. Their defense, Mike, 119th. No, excuse me, 119th on offense, 34th on defense. But still, they're hot garbage. Okay. Michigan has failed to cover the spread in their last 6 games. Michigan is averaging 2 touchdowns less a game while giving up 11 more on defense. Spartans have already matched last year's totals. Man, give me Sparty, and I'll take those points, and I'm with you. I think they might win outright here, Mike.
Yep. I think that's I might make a note of that right now here, Dave, as we're talking this next game, which is Cincinnati taking
baby.
on...
I know we're opposite ends here because this is the one game I have doubts about. So
we could be opposite.
We
We
will
could
be.
be.
So, Mike, we've got Cincinnati at Colorado, and somebody's already slamming me in the chat earlier. I saw just wanting Colorado to win one more game, so Gator Dave loses $50. But Colorado is favored by 5 here. Both teams come in at 5-2. Bearcats big wins over Arizona State, UCF, and Houston. Lost to Texas Tech by 3. The Buffs, they won. They beat Arizona. They beat UCF. They beat Baylor. They lost to K-State. Neither one of these teams have really beaten the higher end of the conference. However, they're kind of bumping that higher end of the conference, right? We both love Cincy's quarterback, Sorsby. He's doing a great job, 67%, 19, 28,
Yep.
13
Great
touchdowns,
year.
4 interceptions, doing a great job. Their offense is ranked 34th. However, their defense is ranked 100th, so not good, especially going against Mr. Sanders, who Shadir is 72%, 2268. That's highest, 19-6, but they can't run the ball. Their defense ranked 57th. Colorado's lost 8 of its last 9 games against conference opponents at home. Cincinnati's covered the spread in 4 of its last 5. Cincinnati defense has looked pretty good the last few games. I don't think we're going to see a lot of Travis Hunter. I think he's on the tail end. He's beat up. We only saw him a half last year, and that'll make a difference. However, they do have Sanders. But I'm going to take the Bearcats here, Mike, to go into Boulder and maybe not win, but give me them 5 points. Tell me about Colorado.
Yeah, I think the Bearcats go in and definitely don't win. I think this is Colorado's game to lose 100%. You look at this Colorado offense, Shedeur Sanders is putting up absolute numbers, 72% completion percentage. He's got 19 touchdowns, only, I think, it's either 4 or 6 interceptions. Yeah, 6 interceptions. He has been sacked 24 times, which that offensive line is still a little bit of a problem, but he's still getting his. The biggest thing for Colorado is their defense. They go as their defense goes, and their defense has been playing much, much better in recent weeks. They're finally getting it clicking. They're finally getting it together. My issue in this game for Cincinnati is their defense. Their defense is atrocious. They have been getting cooked all year long by some mediocre offenses, not even the best, that you typically see statistics-wise, numbers-wise, consistency-wise, and they've been getting cooked. They've won a lot of close games that they really should have lost earlier on in the season. They came back and won a couple times. Brendan Sorsby, you mentioned it. He's a good quarterback. He's having a great year. Unfortunately, I got to go with the better quarterback in this situation and the better defense at home. Night game, cross-country for Cincy. Give me Colorado to get it done and get the cover at home here, Dave.
All right. I can dig that because that's the one game that I have small doubts over.
Yeah.
Small
I think too, I lean towards the over in that one. The only thing that makes me worried a little bit is, if Colorado's defense does come to play, they could give Cincinnati problems, and that could be a thing. But Colorado is going to score 100%.
Yeah, I'd be over on this one too. I think I don't think, well, because I'm Cincinnati, I think they're going to score. So obviously, I would take the over in that game for sure.
I think
All right, next game.
The team total would be interesting to look at that too. I don't know what it is for Colorado, but team total, if it's like 31, something around there, or that might be a play too. Next game, Dave. This one's all you, sir. You threw it on the board. I know why you did it. So
I threw it on the board because
number 11 BYU is underdog. Number 11 BYU underdog to unranked UCF in Orlando. UCF's a favorite by 2 points. Over under is 55.5. Oh, Gator Dave's freaking out. He didn't realize that the line had changed. It looks like.
It doesn't matter, Mike. I'm
Tell me
getting
why it
points
doesn't matter,
now,
Dave.
Mike. I'm getting points now, Mike.
Tell me why it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because BYU is 7-0, UCF's 3-4. BYU big wins at K-State by 29, Arizona, Oklahoma
Yep.
State. UCF only decent win against TCU, Mike. They lost to Iowa State. They lost to Cincy. Lost to Colorado. They lost to my Gators, Mike. BYU 6-1 against the spread. UCF 4-3 against the spread. Restliff
Yep.
59%, 1644. Their leading rusher, 2 touchdowns, unless you're going to say he's out for the game. But I looked, he's playing. We've got the marvelous, spectacular Ja'Cory Brown, who's the quarterback for UCF now, Mike. He's throwing at 40%. He's thrown 2 interceptions. He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass. He has run for 154 yards. Harvey has run his ass off, 900 yards, pretty good, 11 TDs. UCF, number 71 on defense. BYU has won each of its last 6 games against non-AP ranked teams. UCF has failed to cover the spread in 6 of its last 7 games against opponents at home. Okay? Cougars didn't play that great on defense last week, but the offense balled out. Okay? I'm going to call that one their bogey game. UCF has lost 4 games in a row while their offense they did score 35 last week. I still have little confidence to none against a team that got whooped by us. So give me BYU, and Mike, give me 2 points now.
Yeah.
What say you, sir?
I'm with you. I'm not gonna make the mistakes that I have a couple times. I am gonna go with BYU in this situation. I'm sticking with them, even though that line switches. I just want to point out again how odd that line change is. UCF is 3-4. 3-4. They're on a 4-game losing streak. They started the season 3-0. They've lost their last 4. And they're a 2-point favorite at home against number 11 BYU. I think BYU is going to be able to go in there and get it done. I like BYU's defense, and that's mainly the reason why I'm sticking with BYU, despite that interesting line change. Also, I do want to mention Ja'Cory Brown, former Miami quarterback. He is the quarterback for UCF, and he does have a touchdown on the year. All right.
Oh, he does.
He got one against.
Ran for that.
Hold on. No. It was a passing, and he got it against that weak-ass Cincinnati Bearcat defense. And that's why I wanted to say, once again, Bearcats are not the way. It's Colorado Buffs all day long in that game. In this one, I'm going with BYU and the Cougars. I'm going with the better defense. BYU has gone on the road this year already. They've knocked off some good teams. They've had some good wins on the road. I'm not worried about them going into UCF and getting this one done in the slightest. Give me BYU to stay undefeated, keep it going, keep their playoffs and Big 12 championship hopes alive. So I'm with you.
Yeah. All right. You freaked me out there, dude. You freaked me out. So
see how I did that? That's good TV, Dave.
Yeah,
that's good TV.
You freaked me out, man. You had me freaking booking. And dude, it's up to 2.5 now.
Look, you got your phone out. Yeah. Oh, it's at 2.5 now?
2.5. Yeah. I'm like, what?
All right. Well, see, but there's something weird with that. That's like Retzlaff might not play or something. Yeah. Like, is Retzlaff not gonna go for BYU? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Somebody go look at that. I'll start the next game. You go look up Retzlaff and see what the hell's going on.
All right.
That would be the only.
I'm gonna try to figure it out.
All right. So next game, we go to the SEC. We go to Gator Dave's league. We're going to LSU at Texas A&M. This is one that's been on the schedule. It's one of those big SEC games, and it's really, in my opinion, it's going to tell us which one of these 2 teams goes to the playoff or not. So we got right now, a little while ago, Texas A&M was getting 2.5. Over-unders 53.5. So both teams coming at 6-1. in that top of the SEC, you know, and LSU's big wins against Arkansas, Ole Miss, South Carolina, because South Carolina's pretty decent this year. They did lose their first game to USC. A&M's biggest wins against Arky, Mizzou, and Florida. Their early loss was to Notre Dame. Now, LSU, here's where it gets wonky. LSU 3-4 against the spread. A&M is 2-5 against the spread. So it's like, what the hell? Nussmeier, unbelievable. He's 65%, 2,222 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. They've got a running back that's starting to step up. That was an issue for a while for LSU. Durham, he's at 382, 6.2 yards a carry and 6 TDs. We look on the other side of the ball. We got Connor Wegman, 62%, only 718, but he was out for a bit. Running back Moss at 674 and 8 TDs. LSU on the season averaging 34 points while their defense is only giving up 20. LSU has already found success on the road, Mike. They're 2-0 on the road. Wegman in the last game threw 2 interceptions. LSU defense, it's going to create some turnovers here, Mike. The A&M defense is not going to have an answer for LSU. So give me the Tigers, and I'll take those 2.5 points to go in there and win at College Station. And I think they can win. It's 2.5, whatever. I think they can outright win this game. What do you think?
Yeah, I got A&M. I got A&M to get it done at home. I'm going to take them on the money line here. I'm going with Mike Elko. I think he's going to be ready for what LSU and Brian Kelly are going to be bringing. I think they'll have something ready for Nussmeier. I just like this Texas A&M team. I liked them at the beginning of the year. I like them now. I think they're getting more consistent. I think last week was a little bit of a blip on the radar. It was a bit of a sandwich trap game when playing Mississippi State. The week prior to that, they played Missouri at home. I think at the time Missouri was still a top 10, top 15 team. Texas A&M gave it to them, took them behind the woodshed, 41-10. I don't think this one's going to go that way, but I think it could be like a 28-24 type game. So I'm going to go with the Aggies at home to cause a little more chaos to this SEC race here, Dave, as we get down to the final stretch.
That'll push them up into the top tier, man. Like I said, whoever wins this game is going to go into the top tier and have a really good shot at the playoff, without a doubt. The loser is going to be on the back end. Is going to be on the back end. So,
I agree.
Alabama.
I agree.
All right, next game.
You know what's crazy is Alabama can still get in. Alabama can still get in.
They can.
And we talked about it. And we talked about it last week with Texas playing Georgia. If Texas would have pulled that win off against Georgia, obviously they didn't. Georgia beat the brakes off of them. Shout out to Georgia. Lost Dave and I both a winning week last week, so appreciate that. However, if Texas beats Georgia in that game, Georgia has 2 losses. They still got to play Tennessee, who did just beat Alabama. Tennessee is a top 10 team. That'd be 3 losses to Georgia. It would have been straight hypothetical. 3 losses, Georgia team to all top 10 teams. Georgia legitimately could have still got into the playoff, I think, with 3 losses. And that is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Why? I understand you want the strongest team in there, but to throw out records like they did last year with Florida State, and if they were to put in even a 2-loss SEC team over another undefeated team this year, that's a problem. It's a problem.
Yeah, but some of these
why
leagues,
play the
man,
games?
They're not strong, man. They're just not strong, buddy. But the
Crazy.
thing that what irks me the most is that Billy Napier going to the Vols and saying, here, guys, take this game. My team beat you, but Here, take this game.
Well, you know why that is, Dave, is
Because
because
he sucks
Billy
as a
knows.
coach.
No, well, yeah, Billy knows about this. He knows about that right there. So that's what's going on. I sent him an email earlier on in the year, and I
Yeah,
said, hey,
yeah,
I don't know if you know this guy, Dave,
yeah.
but I think he's aware of it. So he's adjusting for it, and he's doing what he
But you
can
got to admit, Mike,
to
you're
help me out.
starting to worry a little and think that
No, absolutely
what
not.
if
Absolutely
what
not.
if the Gators beat Ole
No.
Miss? What if the Gators beat
No.
Ole Miss
I
at home?
if they would
Because
have pulled it out against Tennessee, I would have
oh,
started to
it'd been
worry.
all
But
over. It would have
Billy's
been all
got my
over.
back, Dave. Billy's got
Billy's
my
got your
back like
back.
a
Don't
sweater.
forget.
Got
That's
my
right.
back
That's right.
like Yoda on Luke,
Oh,
dude. Don't worry about
oh,
it.
you're right. You're
Billy's
right.
got
You're right.
this.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Never
I was getting a little too
can't
excited.
doubt Bayou
But you're
Billy,
right.
dude.
Billy's got your back. That's true. All right. We got Lagway. All right, next game. This was one of my games, and I know you're probably going to go the other way on this one, but I'm going out on a limb. We got Washington at Indiana. We got Indiana getting 6.5. Washington is 4-3. Indiana 7-0. Washington's big wins against Northwestern and the beleaguered Michigan Wolverines. Oh, they lost at Iowa, Rutgers, and Wazoo. Indiana comes in, wins over Nebraska, Northwestern, Maryland. They hadn't played the upper tier yet. Starting to get there. They smoked the Huskers 56-7 last week. And in my mind, Washington's kind of in that same realm of the Huskers. Okay, granted, they don't have a freshman quarterback. Now, the big issue here, Mike, is they lost their quarterback. Okay, the quarterback for Indiana is down. Backup came in, Rourke. He's injured. Tavon Jackson, transfer out of Tennessee, came in, threw a couple of touchdown passes at the end of that game. So that is the bogey in this game. But I'm not worried, Mike. Washington's 3-4 against the spread. Hoosiers are 6-1. We all know Washington's got Will Rogers, the ex-Mississippi State quarterback, doing a fine job up there for sure. Hoosiers posted 5 takeaways and held Nebraska to just 4.1 yards per play last week. Washington had a couple of turnovers versus Iowa. They went 5 of 15 on third down. And they're not playing that well. Very, very, very mediocre, under mediocre. They're going to have to come across the U.S. And hey, this one's yours, Mike, because you've been pointing this out earlier.
For sure.
The cross country stuff, Mike. So when Washington came across country to play Iowa and Rutgers, they lost. This is a home game for the Hoosiers, and granted, we're playing our backup quarterback, but give me Indiana to win by at least the 6.5, not a touchdown, maybe 10, 14, something like that. So what you got, Mike?
Yeah, I think Indiana will win this. Shout out to Evelyn in the chat. I think Indiana will find a way to get this one done, but I don't think they're going to cover. At least I'm not very confident that they will. That backup quarterback came in. He looked good. Washington's going to be ready for him. Jed Fish is going to be ready for him. Will Howard is going to be ready. They were on a bye week last week, so they had a little bit of extra time to get ready for this Indiana team. A little bit of extra time to watch some tape on that backup. Kurt Cignetti has Indiana rolling. They're 7-0, ranked 13th. They will most likely get to 8-0 and stay in that playoff race. But that was, like you said, with quarterback Rourke, who's now hurt. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that same momentum going moving forward. I'm on the under here, Gator Dave. I'm going to take the under 53.5. I just don't have a whole lot of faith in this Indiana offense against this Washington defense. I think they're going to be able to have success holding them to some stops, forcing some 3-and-outs, maybe causing some turnovers. On the flip side, I think Indiana is going to find success in holding Washington at bay. So I'm going the under here, sir.
So, did you find anything out? I'm with you there, by the
I
way.
did not.
Nothing on
I did not. I
wrestlers.
didn't.
So
I
this is this
nothing.
is
Nothing
one of
on
those
the.
Vegas
Nope.
mysteries.
Nothing as of yet. Nothing as of
We
yet.
need
So
to,
somebody knows
like I said, we
something.
got to call
You know
these things
that they're
something.
very
I'm going to
confident
call it
in.
the Vegas mystery. Okay, that's what we're going to call
The
it.
Vegas
All right,
mystery. All right.
Vegas mystery. All right, next
I
game,
like it. I like it.
Illinois at Oregon. You want to start that one, or you want me to
Absolutely
take it?
not. You chose this one. You can go ahead.
I chose this one. Illinois at Oregon, 21.5 points. I got a ticket on Oregon to win it all, but I also have a ticket on Georgia to win it all, just so everybody in the audience knows. Um, so Illini coming at 6-1. Ducks are the number one team in the land at 7-0. Illinois beat Michigan by 14 last week, but everybody does. They beat Nebraska. They did lose to Penn State by 14 early. Oregon's signature win, of course, against Ohio State by 1, and they beat Michigan State. Illini is 5-2 against the spread. Oregon is only 3-4. Ex Ole Miss quarterback Altmaier for Illinois, 66%, 1,500 yards, 15 TDs, and only 1 interception. Big boy's got 3 running backs up there between 200 and 300 yards, averaging 4.5 to 5 yards a carry. Gabriel comes in, Heisman hopeful, 77%, 2,080 yards, 15 TDs, 4 interceptions. Jordan James, 717, and 8 TDs. So the Illini have covered the spread in the last 6 games as an underdog. Oregon has failed to cover the spread in each of its last 3 games as a home favorite. Bottom line, Mike, I just don't think that Oregon can beat them by 3 touchdowns. So, and the thing's sitting at 21.5, which is a great number. So, man, give me 21.5 in Illinois, Mike.
Yeah, I think ultimately Oregon definitely can. I just don't know if they will. I'm more confident in this one going under. So I'm going to go the under 54.5. I think Oregon, once again, they totally could win by more than 3 possessions. They just did it to Purdue. At Purdue, they won 35-0. But that would be a hit for both of us. Illinois is pretty much based off of their quarterback, Altmaier. He's having a great year. Stellar year, probably going to get drafted based off his performance this year so far. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get it done. Oregon's offense is finally clicking. They're finally finished drives. They've put up numbers all year long. They just weren't putting up points to really pull away from teams. If they're able to do that early in this game, if they get up 14-0 on this Illinois team and make them throw the ball, they can sit back. They can force Altmaier into some problems. I do like Oregon in this game. I'm not opposed to your Illinois pick. That's a lot of points. That's a ton of points, especially for a top 20 matchup at this point in the season. I just like the under a little bit more. So I'm going to go with the under 54.5.
All right, very good. Can see it happening.
All right.
Me
Last game, Dave.
Your
Last
team.
game.
And I'll
Go
try
ahead.
to
You tell me. You can start it up. You can start it up,
tried
Dave.
to
You
slice
start
and
it.
dice this thing, Mike. I was like, 21 points. Again, I was looking at it
It's a lot of points.
I was looking at
It's
the Illinois-Oregon game. But, Mike, the difference here is that Florida State is not Illinois. They're not Illinois. They're not a top 10 team. Mike, they're sorry, Ian, they're way down there. FSU money line, right, Ian? So Miami's getting 21 points, 54.5 on the over under. FSU 1-6. Sorry, bud. Miami 7-0. FSU's only win against Cal. They've lost to everybody else, even my Memphis Tigers. The U's undefeated, of course. FSU 2-5 against the spread. Miami, not that great. They're 4-3 against the spread. Brock Glenn's the new quarterback at FSU, 50%, 338, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Toafili's not running the ball well. It's just not good. Their defense is 132. No, defense is 75th. Offense is 132. And of course, Ward comes in at 69%, 2,538 yards, 24 touchdowns. You got Martinez and Fletcher tearing it up at 4.9 yards a carry and 5.9 yards a carry. Miami's won each of the last 7 games against non-AP opponents. Florida State failed to cover the spread in 3 of its last 4 games. I mean, I couldn't see anywhere, anyhow, I can do anything but Mike, but pick your team and the U to cover 21 points.
Yeah, I think that's bold. I think that's bold in this type of rivalry, especially this one. These games are generally very, very tight. You can throw out the records. You can throw out the rankings. Just like that game that we talked about earlier with Michigan State, Michigan. There is screwy things that happen when Florida State and Miami get on the field and play football games.
Your team.
You know, I think Florida State will cover the 21 in this game. I'm not taking Florida State. I can't do it because it's hate week. You know, I can't
over or under.
I can't go against my squad. I'm going with the over. Miami is undefeated this year to the over. They have yet to have a game go under. I think that's very similar in this game. I think Miami's going to be able to score, 30, 35, no problemo. But I think Florida State's going to be able to get theirs a little bit too. Miami's defense has been shaky, especially the last couple of weeks. There's been some major, major holes, especially in the secondary. DJU is supposedly now questionable. He may go for Florida State. I don't know if that's a benefit or a hindrance at this point. Miami, the reason I chose black, I just want to say for the graphics, one, it's FSU's funeral, okay? They're sitting at 1-6. Miami has the chance to put them in the dirt and cause them 7 losses, no bowl eligibility. We're wearing our all-black Miami night uniforms. We're debuting them for the night game at home against FSU. Should be absolutely rocking, supposed to be a sellout. Another thing to note here, Mario Cristobal's first year back at Miami was 2022. We played FSU at home in Miami. FSU won that game 45-3. Last year we played them at Doe Campbell and at Tallahassee. I think we lost 27-20. Mario Cristobal is 100%. That game is going to eat away at his mind. It probably has been happening since that game happened. I know it's been happening this week. Miami's going to want to come in, kick their ass again on national TV, make a statement, especially after the last couple of weeks. A lot of people don't think that Miami deserves where they are ranking-wise right now. They've been stuck at 6 despite being undefeated, despite winning these games week in and week out. You know, you look at Vatech, you look at Cal, you look at last week. We find a way against Louisville. You know, we find a way to get wins by the skin of our teeth. That's why I think this game is too many points, especially for this type of rivalry. 21 points is way, 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 way too much. I think Florida State easily covers it. It's going to be a much closer game than I would like for sure. I think Ian is probably going to be smiling for some of it. I hope not for most of it. But I just can't do it. I'm not backing Florida State in any way, shape, or form here. So give me the under. Go Canes. Cam Ward. Heisman Trophy campaign still alive and well. I think it's between him and Ashton Genty. Throw Travis Hunter in there just because that dude is an absolute freak of nature. But give me the Canes to stay undefeated against Florida State, moving into the final, 3 weeks of the season, I guess. Crazy.
Yeah, we only got we got 4 games left, I know. So
well, there's a bye somewhere in there, but some only got 3.
Got a bye,
yeah.
But we got 4 weeks. So Mike, here's when I did all my math. So here's my projected score.
That Memphis math. Here we go.
High score Memphis math. 38. You good with 38?
For the
to
Canes?
14. To 38 for the Canes. 14
Yeah.
for FSU. That's
Yeah.
52.
I think
And that
the
gets me
Canes are
my
more. I
that
think the
gets me
Canes are
my
more likely to get 41. I think Canes are more likely to get about 41.
there's no way Florida State is going to score more than 14 points. Mark my words right there. I know Ian saying
I think they
that
get
your
16.
defense is bad. No.
I think they get
They're saying your
16. I think they
defense
get
is
16.
bad. I did this
We
one
can.
over inside and
I
out.
will take that. I will take that. I will take Florida
I
State
know you
over
will. I
14
know you will.
points. You want to do that?
Well, I know you just a win, Mike, is all you need to take. So, but I'll slice and dice this one because I looked at that 54 too, and I'm like, damn. But then I started looking at all the other points. I'm like, I think 52 is as high as it'll go, and I think my 21 is going to make it. So we'll see. If I get it and you lose it,
Yep.
you'll be happy because you're going to win. So that's it's kind of like those Florida games when we go down that road. So, but
Yeah.
it'll be interesting for sure. It'll be interesting. So
Yep.
your team's definitely going to win. We'll just see how much that score is going to be.
Can we just mention though 1-6, just how crazy 1-6 is for Florida State? I just want to get over that over the head. I mean Mike Norvell. I mean what a fall off from grace. It's just you hate to see it. You hate to see it. It's almost like nobody called it. Oh wait, we both did, and that's why we loved the fact that he got extended, and Florida State just put them more in the rears.
They were
It's
world
beautiful.
champions last year.
They were. They made rings and everything. They did that. It was beautiful.
I saw that.
Just like UCF. It's just like UCF. They might as well put it up in their stadium. Anyway, Dave, it's been a great show. Shout out to Ian for staying in there. We see you in the chat, bud. It's always great.
I'm going to tell him, I'll take the 21.
Oh, now you want 21 points?
Yeah, 21. Yeah, I'll take,
Well, Florida State's going to get over 14. You said 14 points. They're going to score over 14 on that defense. I'm telling you.
I don't think so.
I will be happily surprised if not.
My 21's going to be good, and I think my 14's going to be right there too, 30-14. So we'll see. We had a lot of folks in the chat tonight, so thank you, appreciate it. Ian, thanks for staying till the end, man. I knew you would with the Florida State game, so appreciate that. Appreciate everybody being in here, and Gator's got a bye week, and next week we start the trudge through the worst gauntlet that any team's ever seen. So, but we're gonna have fun. We're going down to the
slowly making that way to the toilet bowl at the end of the week or at the end of the year.
Toilet bowl would be no bowl. So, we're not.
Oh no, it's gonna be you and Florida State at the end of the year. That's the toilet bowl because neither one of y'all are gonna make a bowl game. You know what I mean? So that will be y'all's bowl game. It'll be great.
Bowl. Yes, Ian, we're gonna toilet bowl last game of the year, baby. So
that's right. Bring your TP.
Should be fun. Appreciate everybody being on. Like, subscribe, all that cool shit. And please watch the NFL show, folks. Scotty is on fire. 11-1.
Absolute
the
tear.
Last 2 weeks.
Absolute tear.
My God, you've made a ton of money if you listen to that man the last 2 weeks. So appreciate everything and give me a
crazy.
Go Gators.
Go Canes, baby. Go Canes. Number 6, undefeated.